came to Oakwood University, and I remember sitting in the classroom, and she had a PowerPoint and she started just sharing about what chaplaincy was. But later on that evening after the presentation, I realized that chaplaincy was something that God had called for me. And now here it is 2 years later, and it's like, it's time to graduate. And time has just gone by so fast, but it has been a wonderful experience, and I hope to share that with you. A typical day for me in the hospital would start early as 5:30, and I would take that time to prepare, and by 7:30, 7:45, I found myself actually going to the hospital. The cool thing about the hospital here is there was a devotion with the entire team. So we would have a devotional book, and from that devotional book, we would try to bring some sort of spiritual theme to unify us, because we never knew what we were going to face that day. So after we have devotion, one of the first things I would have to do is go to the computer and look at all of the patients that were there. What we tried to do is we tried to see the patients who hadn't been seen yet. First I thought, it's just the chaplain and the patient and the family members. But it is so important to be in tune with the staff. A chaplain is always ready to make himself available. So I would find staff members sharing with me how they might be going through tough times, how I need to pray for a loved one that they lost. This was very valuable to me, because once I realized the unity within the staff actually empowered me as a chaplain. Typically when I would go in the room, one of the things that I did is I just really tried to introduce myself, who I am, and what do I do. I had some patients that would look at my badge and say, "Oh, you're a chaplain, I'm okay, I don't need a prayer or anything." So I found myself actually educating the patients. What do we do? I can just be your friend, pull up a chair, we can just hang out, talk about football, whatever it is. I found out real quickly that as I would go from room to room, that my measuring stick of knowing what to give the patient was using both of my ears and not so much my mouth.
The moment I knew that this was as we say in Australia, the fair dinkum, the real, the true blue deal with chaplaincy was when I actually sat down with a patient, and she opened her heart, poured out her heart, and invited me to journey with her in her grief. I realized that this was sacred time, sacred space.
When I stepped into my first patient's room, there was this sense of awe. I felt a sense of peace, and I knew this is my place. This is my opportunity to change the world, to be a blessing.
When I came here, I had high expectations, but this program is beyond and above my highest expectation.
They care, not just about how you're doing in school, but how your family is. And it is just wonderful to know that being in a program that truly cares about making me whole.
You can become a hospital chaplain, a university campus chaplain, a prison chaplain, police chaplain, army chaplain, and so forth.
If you're just getting started, or if you're even just thinking about it, I'd simply say, if you want the experience of a lifetime, spend 2 years in this school, in this course. You'll never be the same. I spent my 2 years being blown away every day by people who are invested in making the world a better place.